Hi everyone, Mark Merrill again with Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media. We're going to continue with DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and its so-called leader. He's pretty much been designated by Donald Trump as to go ahead and use his staff, meaning the president's staff, to get all this money under control. And we've got to take our country back, as you'll soon see in our episode here, talking about DOGE and the domino effect. That's really what it is, folks. Firm will continue to explain in the best possible way that we know how, folks, law-abiding Americans, all of you, how the DOGE policies are to be enforced by the states and local governments to cut billions and even some cases trillions of dollars of wasteful programs, which unfortunately also affect federal and some state jobs as well. Too bad. Whine, cry, cry. Now, of course, many of the leftist radical states, including your state of Maine, where we all live here in the Northeast, folks, and some rhinos too, are complaining about the leader of DOGE, Elon Musk, as a tyrant or loose cannon extension of President Trump's goal to cut the out-of-control deficit closing in on $37 trillion, oh my goodness, as we speak. So here's where we at Firm, folks, get into the dirt and reality of what our country is facing to cut spending and bailouts or go bankrupt here at home. And that means for everyone. No more laughing, no more fun. No more playtime. Time to get tight in the wallet and checkbook. At the federal and state level, that is, or else. We first start here with DOGE getting the green light versus state attorneys general. And, of course, Obama's judge, who he appointed way back to block DOGE from firing deep staters, disappointing blue state AGs. Now, of course, despite denying her fellow travelers' motion, this Judge Chatan joined them in concerning mongering about Musk's influence. 14 states filed a lawsuit seeking to immediately bar Trump's administration of government efficiency from firing or furloughing deep staters, canceling government contracts, accessing sensitive agency data, and taking steps to dismantle agencies. Well, that's a mouthful to begin with. Blue state AGs who accused Trump of violating the Constitution Appointments Clause, well, there goes another one. Let's see what we can dig up and throw it against the Constitution and see if it sticks, or with a judge. But despite Judge Tanya Chutkan's appointment by Barack Obama, who presided over Trump's election obstruction case, handed down sentences to January 6th protesters far in excess of prosecutors' requests, Chutkan surprised the Democrat AGs by denying their motion for a temporary restraining order against DOGE. She did, however, monger about Elon Musk's supposed unchecked authority. Plaintiffs legitimately call into question what appears to be the unchecked authority of an unelected individual and an entity that was not created by Congress and over which it has no oversight. The complaint noted that DOGE has inserted itself into 17 federal agencies. Well, we have to stop there, folks. We could go on and on and on about the back and forth ping-pong balling of the laws. Mr. Trump assigned Elon Musk to the duties of DOGE. But the Democrats claim their lawsuit against Musk has unprecedented and seemingly limitless access across the federal government. And we're trying to cut money here, folks. $37 trillion is knocking on the door here, and it's going to spill over to our children and grandchildren. How are they going to have a life? Not a very good one, I'd say. And so, folks, as we go back to it, from our point of view here in the state of Maine, Attorney General Aaron Fry tells state employees not to cooperate with federal Justice Department investigators. Oh, God, really? Are you kidding me? Seriously? Yep, he did. This is from the Main Wire, folks, that we're reading now. And it was dated February 19th. As we continue on with Elon Musk as the DOGE chief, if you will. But in this article titled Maine AG to State Employees Don't Cooperate with the Justice Department Investigator, don't you do it, Maine employees. He said of at least one agency to avoid cooperating with officials from the U.S. Department of Justice or the U.S. Attorney's Office. All DHHS departments have received a directive from the Attorney General, Mr. Fry, advising staff if an attorney or anyone else from the Department of Justice or U.S. Attorney's Office reach out looking to meet or seek information, staff should not respond, said the author of the email. Of course, Pam Bondi, the new Attorney General, U.S. Attorney General there in the Trump administration, I don't think she's going to stand for that one iota. 2.5 seconds is going to be right back in Attorney General Fry's lap. The email stated instead they should forward the correspondence to their supervisor and superintendent's office, and superintendent will then reach out to the appropriate assistant attorney general to achieve. Oh, let's just... Intentional, folks. Let's just pass the buck, kick the can down the road. That's all they know how to do. Well, that's where that one stops, right there, folks. Now, as far as you, the American people, are concerned, let's move over and get some ideas, actually not some ideas, but some bottom line responses to this, where we're trying to restore America, right? And we're trying to get it back on track for families, liberty and justice and freedom for all. Not to mention honor our forefathers, the founding fathers. So here's a couple of people who are responding to Attorney General Fry as to his rebuttal. One poster on Facebook said, the Mills administration, this gentleman posts, that he believes the Attorney General also stated he cannot take up matters with regards to the unconstitutionality of net energy billing for electricity in Maine because he'll be blackballed by his own party. On a radio program, one of the hosts of the program was speaking to a Jim Lebrecht, who brought up that electricity rate increases are baked in, no thanks to Mills and Fry, for the next 4 years, ladies and gentlemen, right here in the state of Maine, to pay for green energy. The local poster, or the state poster, not just Mr. Lebrecht, he goes on to say, to finish up his thought, paying for green energy. Have you seen your electric bill lately, everyone? Thanks to Mills and Democratic House and Senate, no way. One lady was succinct about it. Put him in jail. The Attorney General is who she's talking about, Aaron Fry. And yours truly posted this just recently, folks, when it came to this whole thing about DOGE and how about getting money freed up from the federal and state levels of wasteful spending. As a veteran radio and TV journalist myself, this is the highest form of treason and tyrannical behavior from any AG to demand state workers be lawbreakers in the name of socialist radical politics while crippling an entire state and a country all at once. Well, it's pretty much true, folks. That's about the way it is. Now, in this case, folks, as we move on here on Firm, the DOGE domino effect, and how everybody seems to be getting hot under the collar, but where do we head on this particular face-off between Governor Mills and her AG, Aaron Fry, and President Trump's Judicial Department? Well, I've got some extra thoughts here, folks, and I thought you might like to enjoy this here a little bit and give you food for thought, while Donald Trump, of course, is handing out the executive orders left and right faster than hotcakes on a Sunday morning. In her book, which we put up right at the moment alongside Mr. Trump here, Words for Warriors, Sam Sorbo gave her definition of the executive branch of the U.S. government as follows. And we'll go ahead and do that for you right now, folks. The executive branch pretty much says this: the branch of government responsible for enacting, supporting, and enforcing the laws made by the legislative branch and interpreted by the judicial branch. The president sits at the helm of the executive branch, which includes his cabinet of secretaries, under which many agencies reside. Article 2, Section 3 is the key, folks, where it states in the Constitution, the president shall take care of the laws to be faithfully executed. It was included to restrain the president from changing or canceling laws he didn't agree with. But President Obama, a constitutional lawyer at the time, must have been absent the day that class was covered, because Article 2, he acted as if he didn't apply to him. As evidenced in his bold, arrogant assertions, here's what he said: wherever and whenever I can take steps without legislation to expand opportunity for more American families, that's what I'm going to do. Whenever Congress refuses to act, Joe and I, meaning Biden, of course, we're going to act. Oh, really? We're not just going to be waiting for legislation. I've got a pen and I've got a phone. And I can use that pen to sign executive orders, to take executive actions and administrative actions that move the ball forward. But concern about executive overreach is partisan neutral. Both parties should adhere to the boundaries set forth in the Constitution. Law professor Jonathan Turley at the time testified before House Judiciary Committee members and said there's been a massive gravitational shift of authority to the executive branch that threatens the stability and functionality of our tripartite system. Ladies and gentlemen, legislative, judicial, executive. It's the way it's always been, and that's the way it's always going to be. Period. So, have any other questions? And you want to look up some words, folks? Despite what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did, all they did, as you can see here, is try to start a corruption dynasty. Would put us all in the hole. No freedoms for anybody. Thank God that didn't happen. So check out her book sometime, folks. Words for Warriors by Sam Sorbo. And if you can't see it down below, it underlines fighting back against crazy socialists and the toxic liberal left. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us here for Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media. Once again, Mark Merrill, as always, your host. We certainly hope that you will check out our podcasts on a regular basis on rumble.com/fairnessmedia1, YouTube, Twitter, and all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com, fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com. Peace through strength, folks. For you, your family, and the country.